Hello guys, how are we doing and welcome back to the channel. Today we finally have some good news surrounding Black Ops 6 Ranked Play, as they're going to be trialling 2 new maps ahead of Major 3 of the CDL, and those 2 maps are Barrage and Grind. Grind was added late Season 2, whereas Barrage was a new map coming into Season 3. I'm excited. New maps, going to keep it refreshed, going to keep it nice and new feeling when we're playing those maps. Barrage is going to be added as a hardpoint and control map, whereas Grind is going to be only added as a hardpoint map, and it is a trial. They're going to test it to see whether or not it works well, and Treyarch are looking for constructive feedback. So if you've got a Twitter account, make sure you are messaging constructive criticism about the maps, whether the spawns are terrible or whatnot. Try and make it constructive so that they can apply better logic to what maps they select going forward, and overall improve the experience for all of us who play ranked play. We're going to be going through the maps, where the hard points are, so you guys know where to rotate to and you're not completely lost in the rotations, and just some initial thoughts on the thoughts on the hill itself, I guess. So we're going to be kicking it off on Barrage hardpoint. First of all, P1 finds itself in the center of the map, pretty much surrounded by a little bit of rubble. It's going to be fairly open, looks to be mixy, but it is 2 vantage points that look over. One's a little bit better on the side of P5. Those who are spawning towards P5 are probably going to have better hill time of P1. P2 finds itself in the pit, which is also a control point. And again, the side of whoever spawns on this side of the map is probably going to have a better rotation towards P2 because it's likely to be closer. P3 is in the little room, which is also a control point next to P1. P4 is right next to where P2 was, and then P5 is the complete other side of the map where there's the big digger. So looking at it from the perspective top down, it's going to be quite clear that the spawns that you're going to probably want to have are these spawns back here going into the start of P1 and at least going into P2. I think fighting for P3 is going to be a little bit more difficult from this side, so you're going to probably want to rotate towards over here for the spawns for P3. But then obviously P4, there are really sticky spawns back here going for P4, so you're going to want to try and flip again. P5, again, you're going to want to try and flip these spawns. I like that. I like the fact that there's not one side of the map that's dominant going into all of the hills. I like the fact that you're going to want to try and rotate and flip the spawns as a team to get more hill time. And I think it's going to be a really nice map. My only concern lies with the fact that the spawns for P4 here are very sticky. You can have, at least when playing pubs, I know it might be a little bit different because there's going to be 6 players. The spawns can be very sticky, but I'm interested to see how it plays. But don't forget, guys, when you load in, try and rotate to the back of the map here or here, depending on which side you want to be spawning, and just have a think about that. Don't just run it down because you will lose. As far as control is concerned, actually P3 and P2 are the control points. The attackers start over on here, so they've got to either traverse their way through to this control slot or traverse their way over to this one. Defenders spawn here, so they are both closer to both of the objectives, but it's going to be a slayout. I think this map's quite open-ish. There's plenty of cover, but there's, generally speaking, they've got 3 main lanes, and it's going to be really good for control. I hope it plays well, at least better than some of the maps we currently have for control maps. We're going to move now into Grind, which looks a little bit like this, and some of you may already be familiar with Grind. Now, personally, I think Grind would have been better maybe as an S&D. It's quite small, though. You can see they've only managed to fit 4 hills onto this map. P1 is on the slopes to the right-hand side of the far left spawn and to the left-hand side of the far right spawn. Pretty open, going to be pretty scrappy. There's not much cover around this objective whatsoever. P2 is on the left-hand side of the map, and it's basically the room that just looks over the middle area of the map. It's got a little bit of cover, and there are going to be fairly strong spawns towards that side. P3 is actually the half pipe. I think it's called a half pipe. Forgive me, I'm not a skateboarder. Apologise, that is definitely not a hard point, probably. But essentially, the ramps on the left of P3, again, really open, not much cover. And for P4, is all the way around to the back of the spawn, and where it's really sticky spawns, and it's in this little tube area like so. So again, looking at it from this top-down perspective, P1 is going to be really scrappy. There's not much cover, as I say. You're probably going to want to obtain these spawns for P1 and P2 because of how close it is. And then from that, you can probably then want to flip to the right-hand side for P3 and P4 because P4 spawns are very, very sticky. Now, based on how open these objectives are, you really don't want to commit too many people to being on the hill itself. a lot of your teammates should be playing off time, hopefully cutting the map so that enemies can't get anywhere close. Because as I say, there's very little cover on the hills themselves, apart from P4. P4 is the only one where you're going to have a decent amount of hold. I think every other hill is going to be scrappy, but you really want to fight for either these spawns for P2 and these spawns for P4. They are the main things you're going to want to do going into grind hardpoint. So let me know your thoughts. I'm excited. It's going to be something fresh, something new. Going to add a little bit of versatility to map pool we currently have. And what maps would you like to see these replacing if you are enjoying these maps? If you want these maps to stay, is it Protocol Vault you want gone? Is it Vault Hardpoint, Protocol Control you want gone? Is it Vault Hardpoint you want gone in replacement of one of these? Let me know down below. I'm going to be doing the call outs on these videos, on these maps. I'm also going to be doing spawn guides on these maps as well once I get some VODs. And that leads me to my next thing. If you have any VODs, if you've got video of a codcaster watching a 4v4 game on this, on Hardpoint or Control, please send it over to me. It will make me doing the spawn guides a lot more efficiently and saves me having to do a lot of research myself, which is a little bit more time consuming. So if you want your spawn guides quicker, I'm going to need a little bit of community involvement from you guys, of course. So short video, hopefully if it helps. I will leave the links to this down below, but it's basically just on the Call of Duty website where you can have it up on your second monitor when you load into the map so you know the rotations and enjoy the rest of your day. That'll do from me. Ciao for now.